hunger strike alone was so infuriating for them because they couldn't use the sandwiches and water against us.
Right. So yeah,
So they
yeah,
punished us for it. They punished us. They kept us in. All of us that went to prison were kept in 24-hour lockdown. We only saw the light of day when we had to go see our lawyers, which was only twice.
so when did you start the hunger strike?
Immediately.
As
As soon
soon
as
as
the
you were,
IOF
yeah.
jumped on board, we started prior to that. We haven't ate like probably half the day we went without
Right.
eating. We didn't cook any dinner or anything like that.
Right. And of course, part of that is speaks to the disgusting Israeli Hasbara and propaganda, right? Where they took photos of people eating sandwiches. Not everyone did, but handing out sandwiches, eating sandwiches to show how, benevolent and generous they were. The IOF, they treat people so well. Did you guys talk about the hunger strike as something that you were doing in solidarity, as something that you did to kind of prevent their manipulating you as photo ops?
Yeah, both. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we went on hunger strike for multiple reasons, especially because, the children in Gaza, the people in Gaza can't eat, and neither will we, especially while we're in Israel and their captivity. We wasn't going to have any of that food. And they knew it. They announced it when they captured the boat. They said, we understand you guys are on a hunger strike, but they still brought mountains of sandwiches and water, just to try to weaponize it against us. They kept asking us every 10 minutes. And it was like, no, we're not gonna fold. And that was something that the group decided way before we got intercepted.
Right. As an organizer who has taken on Amazon, what advice do you have for future flotillas? Because it's also worth noting that they're organizing another flotilla. I had Huwaida Araf on, Aaron Mate and I interviewed Huwaida and Bob Suberi last week on Useful Idiots. They're already plotting and scheming in a good way, another flotilla. What advice do you have as an organizer about the flotilla, and also more generally about people who want to organize around Palestine?
I got a lot of people that reached out to me about, oh, I want to get on the next flotilla. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, half of y'all, more than half of y'all won't make it. Like people think it's a joyride or they think it's something that they can do easily. If you're not mentally prepared, um, you will not make it past training. I tell you that right now. And if you're not prepared to put your life on the line, you're not going to make it. And it's not for everybody. And I don't encourage any of my comrades to even want to do it because we shouldn't have to. And that's the real reason. Like, this is not something that's fun. This is extremely dangerous. One mistake can cost you and your whole crew your lives. You're floating on a graveyard with millions of bodies for a week, and people think that they can just sign up and jump on board and do this. I highly doubt that. And I'll tell you now, this was only a week and a half, but it was the longest week and a half of my entire life. And I could tell you now that when you go to prison, your life is not in your hands anymore. You're not in your control. So, especially in Israel, an apartheid state. So, I just don't. I don't want to put it out there to discourage people, but I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm telling
Mhm.
people that this may not be for you. And that's fine. You have your own role to play in the Palestinian movement. Stay in your way, stay in your lane, whatever works for you and your activism. But just because you've seen somebody else do it doesn't mean that you can.
Mm. And how did the morale seem of the idea of the IOF, by the way? Did they seem like at all like defeated, or do they seem like they're gung
The
ho?
IOF, they
Yeah.
are a bunch of young kids. That's even more shocking. That the average age was probably 21 and
Yeah.
they look like babies. Honestly, I was ashamed. I cursed them out. I said, without them weapons and guns, you guys are nothing to their face. They're a bunch of killing machine kids that unplug incubators. They think what they're doing is notable. They're playing some type of real time Call of Duty video game, but it's a shame to see that they are actually stopping humanitarian aid and that they're thinking they're doing something good. And a lot of them are honestly probably scared little people because they couldn't even look me in my face. A lot of them, I tried to connect and there's nothing there. They're soulless and they're evil and they're killing machines.
Did it give you a new understanding of what the people of Palestine are experiencing? Obviously, you have protections that even as a Black American, you still have protections that the people in Palestine don't have, just as, virtue of being Palestinian. And obviously, you're aware of the murder, terrorism, dehumanization that they face. But was there something like you understood viscerally from being there that you didn't understand before?
No, I don't think I would ever understand.
Mm.
I don't think any of us would, because what I experienced, even how bad it was, is only a fraction of what they go through. What I went through is nothing compared to what they're going through. And I've never want anybody to go through that. And I can tell you now, this Palestinian resistance will never stop. It'll never cave in. It's going to continue to grow. And hopefully, we hold the right people accountable and the right entities accountable, because we shouldn't have to be doing what we're doing, and they deserve to be free.
They are planning another flotilla, and this time it's going to be, I believe, dozens of ships participating from over 40 countries. Do you know anything more about this plan? Are you involved in planning any of this, or are you back in the States and doing other activism and organizing?
I'm not going to be involved in the planning of it. They've been working on that for way before I got involved. But I'm aware of certain things. I'm not too sure what to share yet. But yeah, I already knew that that was in play prior to us leaving, and I know that there's definitely more flotillas in the future. There's going to be an all women's one coming up.
Oh, wow.
So there's going to be different type of flotillas. The thing is, it's good to announce it ahead of time, but it's another thing to leave, actually be able to leave the ports, which they're going to have to battle. Those 40 countries are, it's not as easy as people think it is to leave. You may get clearance or you may get registered, but a lot of countries, when they find out what you're doing, they don't allow you to leave the ports, which is a whole nother battle that
Right.
they're going to have to face. But I wish them the luck, and I fully support it. And if I will go back in the future. I don't know when, but I will be going back soon.
By the way, I just want to explain, because in case people don't know what scabies is, and this speaks to the conditions, but it's a contagious skin infestation caused by microscopic mites that burrow under the skin. And this leads to intense itching and a pimple-like rash. And it spreads easily from person to person. So that was what you were subjected to in
Yeah,
this.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have it, it's really all over my back and my chest area, but I was fortunate enough to see a doctor right away. As soon as I got out of prison, I was dropped off at the Jordan border, and my Palestinian brothers brought me to the doctor right away, and they took care of me.
When did you become interested in Palestine as an issue?
Prior to October 7th, I was on a panel with Dr. Mustafa Borgatti in Corcadia in Montreal. I know about the history from him.
Great, yeah.
He invited me to Palestine way before the genocide started taking place. So I was heavily involved already. But on October 7th, I was in Berlin, which is the largest Palestinian community outside of Palestine, with 40,000 of them living there. And I witnessed how the Nazi police in Germany on October 7th and that entire week treated those Palestinians right in front of me. They dragged the children away from their parents. They threw them in paddy wagons. I witnessed basically the Holocaust 2.0, the way they set up the tables in the middle of the street. And then I came back to America, and I've been very vocal ever since then.
Yeah, it really is quite disgusting to see Germany embracing the brutality that they claim, of course, that they learned not to engage in. They say never again. And an irony is that they mistreat Palestinians more than anyone else. But another group that they mistreat in terms of arrests, they don't disappear them, but in terms of arrests, there's a disproportionate number of Jews have been arrested under their quote unquote anti-Semitism laws, which kind of tells you everything you need to know about whether or not this is about anti-Semitism. It's not. It's about believing in human rights for Palestinians. Like, that's the crime in Germany. And Germany is having Palestinians pay for their crimes during the Nazi Holocaust. Palestinians who had absolutely nothing to do with it. Somehow they are the ones responsible. They're the ones who need to pay the price. Now, something interesting is that according to the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism, which is the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, one of the things that you're not allowed to do, because it's anti-Semitic, is you are not allowed to compare contemporary Israeli policies to the Nazis. So I want to show this clip. It's Moshe Feiglin, who is a Israeli politician. He was a member of the Knesset. And here is what he said about what needs to be done in Gaza.
לא אורחים בארצנו. זאת הארץ שלנו כולה. ועכשיו, מי שהיה לו, היינו צריכים להסתדר איתו, איכשהו, כי גם הוא ישב פה, וצריך להיות הומני, והכל נכון, והכל טוב ויפה. הראה שהוא מייצג את האסלאמו-נאציזם העמוק ביותר, כמו שאנחנו לא מבינים, כמו שברור לנו, שאנחנו לא יכולים לחיות, איך אמר היטלר יימח שמו, אני לא יכול לחיות בעולם הזה אם יש יהודי אחד נותר בו. אנחנו לא נוכל לחיות בארץ הזאת עם אסלאמו-נאצי אחד שכזה נשאר בעזה. ואנחנו לא חזרנו לעזה, והפכנו אותה לעזה העברית.
So they're going to turn Gaza into Hebrew Gaza, which is code for ethnic cleansing and genocide. And he even cites you're kind of like a Nazi when you say, as Hitler said, and you're not saying it as an example of something evil, but as a kind of slogan that you're going to apply on a different population.
These people will never see a Hebrew Gaza in their lifetime. They can give it up. Them people would rather die on their land before giving it up. That's what they don't realize. It's not going to happen. Trump, Bibi, they're gonna croak in their casket before they ever see the Gaza that they imagine. It's not going to happen in their lifetime, so they can give it up.
They really are like evil parodies of themselves. It's unbelievable. You can't make it up. I guess under the internet in the IHRA working definition of anti-Semitism, they should accuse this guy, Feiglin's an anti-Semite, according to their definition, because he's basically comparing modern Israeli policy to the Nazis. And last thing I want to ask you is, what are your thoughts on Black Palestinian solidarity? Do you think that there's a special relationship there?
Absolutely. I mean, what can I say? They are brothers and sisters, They're in my neighborhood right now. They're in every hood in America. Palestinians, Black people, we always been in the same communities since the beginning of time. So Black liberation, Palestinian liberation is all the same.